I'm not gonna lie, I cringe every time a new intactivist says they want to start a new group. Why? Because most people don't understand what it really takes to run an intactivist group that's actually effective. You need four things to do this right: time, money, a network, and skills. We aren't going to talk about skills because it varies on what you're trying to do to want to help the movement, and hopefully you are picking something you're already skilled at, so that's why we're not going to go over that. So let's break this down though. Time. You can't get around this. If you want to make a dent in this movement, we're talking an investment of thousands of hours, literally. Take POTS, for example. When we started, I was putting in 60 hours a week. We had a team of 8 people. I released a video every single day for months. We networked with our groups, planned meetings, edited content, set up interviews, researched, brainstormed ideas, made scripts, all while working side gigs just so I could survive, because you need money to live. Over time, that team shrank smaller and smaller down to just 4 people, but the grind never stopped. We now partner with other groups to keep things moving. I still put in at least 40 hours a week. Scott does at least 10, and our partner groups contribute who knows how much. In total, if I had to guess, POTS runs on roughly 80 man hours a week. And we've kept this up for almost 3 years now. I rarely leave my house because I never know when I'm going to get a POTS e-commerce order. So if you think about it, I put in well over 12,000 hours so far. Even if you throw a bunch of money at this movement, it doesn't replace the skills you're going to build over time. For instance, I was terrible at POTS when I first started. It took time to get rid of a lot of my mistakes, and trust me, I made a lot of them. For instance, I was using stereo versus mono, so my videos would only play in one ear. And let's look at other intactivists that put in a whole bunch of hours to show you that it's definitely not just going to happen to you overnight. So if we look at Jason Lobos, which is the advocating avocado, you will see right here that Jason Lobos advocating avocado, the creation date was July 17, 2007. So it's definitely been a minute that he's been doing this. It's been almost 18 years now. So, and he has 720 followers thus far. And if we go to Truth Bomb right here, he has 410 subscribers, but he has 336 videos out right now. That's a lot of videos. That's 336 videos in a span of 3 years. And he doesn't even have 500 subscribers yet. So he's still putting in the work, and he's still making content, but it definitely takes time. Even if you want to talk about Bloodstained Man and Brother K, if you go all the way back to when Brother K started protesting, this right here, this article was back in August 6, 1980. So, like, we just missed the anniversary of this paper clipping. Brother K did Citizens Against Ritual Violence Carve. Brother K has been protesting since 1975. So it's kind of crazy to think about that Brother K has been doing this for 50 years. So yes, Brother K has quite a bit of following because he's been doing this for 50 years. I mean, he took a break and stuff, but still, it's a long time and a lot of hours he put in. Also with Brother K, when he was protesting, he started out protesting with masks. I think many would say that he developed a much better strategy as time went on as well, which is why it's important to go ahead and get your hours in. So ask yourself, are you ready to put in that kind of time for intactivism? Because I promise you, you're not going to get it right the first time. It's going to take lots of mistakes and learning to get through this. Now, the second thing, let's talk finances. I personally have put in about $25,000 into POTS. The first year, I spent about $10,000 to set everything up legally and operationally, getting all the equipment, stuff like that. Year 2, I only spent like $5,000 to make it look like POTS was generating money thanks to a donor who was also POTS himself. And we need this money just to go ahead and operate, just run-of-the-mill things that we have to do, like admin stuff and taxes. And year 2, we did a bunch of work contracts, like VTubing, software, It's a lot. Like, there's a lot of things you don't think about, but it's pretty expensive. And then this year, I'm on track to put in another $15,000 between myself and my team because we're doing the cyber ad protesting campaign. We're pushing different kinds of work with other people. We gave a lot of work contracts earlier this year, and it's just a lot, honestly. Like I said, you'll be surprised how much this really ends up costing you. Now, what did we receive back? Not a whole lot. Now, we received under $2,000 in tips and donations over 3 years. That wasn't actually a part of Potts' team. If you are a PANS member, we'll go ahead and check out the coffee. If you want receipts, I'll show you guys. But what I will show you that the top person who donated is Rotor Viking, who is Scott. So he's literally a part of Potts. He gave $7,009. Like, that's awesome. But again, he's Potts. So if you take that away, the next we have is 607. And then once you start going more and more down, it's from greatest to least. So we didn't even make $2,000 on donations for reals. So yeah, if you're a PANS, I'll go ahead and I'll show you the amount of money that we've actually made. If you want to, I'll cover the names and stuff for sure. But anyways, our CareBuzz campaign made $90 after promoting it for about 18 months. We're a little bit under $90. We finally got this to pick up a little bit. So we got about maybe $20 a month. And our e-commerce program earned us less than $400 in 2 years. So it's really not that much. And after you subtract processing fees, we're running Potts on $80 a month. And, you know, YouTube, Facebook, and X, we're making $0 because we can't get enough support on these platforms to go ahead and do that. Our YouTube, we have 1,100 subscribers. Our Facebook and X, we have a little over 400 followers each. The return isn't proportional to the investment. So we put the time in and we put the money in. So what is Potts' problem? Well, here is where this gets ugly. If you don't play by the rules of the mainstream intactivist clique, they won't support you. In fact, they probably want you to fail. Groups like Intact America wouldn't even look at Galdaf, let alone have them run ads if they weren't so beneficial to Intact America. Intact America, was paid $5,000 just to advertise Galdaf in their Skin in the Game Party Award ceremony. Well, like, look at Brendan Morata. He made an incredible film, but because he wasn't part of the clique, they slandered him and sidelined him. There's no way that it was even anti-Semitic. There's nothing about it that was anti-Semitic. I mean, Brendan even said in the interview with Potts that they were conspiring against him. That's a big reason why, in my opinion, he stepped away from the movement. The mainstream intactivist movement will have secret meetings about you, and they'll discuss if they like you or not, just like how this happened with Brendan Morata. Here's a clip from our interview that he had on the Potts' channel.
I wouldn't have the chance to respond. In fact, there was one person involved in those meetings, Tim Hammond, who suggested to them, oh, well, maybe someone should talk to Brendan about what's going on. And the result was that Ellie went after him as an enabler of racism and started saying all sorts of similar accusations about Tim. And by the way, I think that's part of the reason you're getting some of the negativity you have is I know, for example, Galdaf, his organization, is one that you've wanted to have on. If they talk about these things publicly, then they have to talk about those meetings. And if an organization is set up as a 501c3 to work to end circumcision, and then they use resources and their leadership to do something other than that, then there's a serious issue there.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
I called out the gatekeepers so often to the point of nauseum. Hopefully, I beat this dead horse enough to let you guys understand that this exists, and the Potts team won't bow down to people who care more about money, politics, or ego than saving a child from a life lived as being an amputee. Like, that's so messed up. But Like, have you guys ever noticed how most of the biggest names in intactivism avoid Potts' interviews? Georgiane Chapin, Eric Klopper, Brother K, Ellie Yahoo, Tim Hammond, whoever runs Your Whole Baby. Like, it's crazy. Like, they don't want to show up and answer hard questions. They act like they're above you because they only want your money. Even Eric Klopper, he went off course originally when he was very critical of Judaism during his play. So what did he do? He bent the knee and apologized publicly to Eliyahu because that's what it takes to stay on the quote-unquote right side, aka profitable side, of the movement. Honestly, if Intact America or Bloodstained Men just shared a post or two from Truth Bomb or Jason, the advocating avocado, that would really help them out. But they aren't going to do that because it may make them lose donor money. Even the pot circumcision bad ad campaign, aka the cyber protest, aka against all odds operations that we are running, in which we are spending well over $5,000 on, you will see that the Bloodstained Men promotes pro-circumcision content and zero reposting or sharing of Potts' content, even though we're talking about circumcision being bad. Why do you think that is? I know you guys know. Every person that shares and reposts Potts' content from the circumcision bad ads are minor players. The biggest player that ever reposted was Intaction, and I think that's because Anthony Squadro cares more about the movement and children than his own ego, honestly. The bigger groups tried to actually stop Anthony. According to my sources, Intact America tried talking Anthony out of doing the health equality campaign. So point being, don't expect any support really from the big groups. I mean, I even went around and I tried to get them to help Potts, and I videotaped it during live streams and made videos of it during the news. They aren't interested in helping you. And here's another reality check if you're going to start a intactivist group, is that most intactivists won't support you either, especially when you're new. We've been turned down so many times, it's crazy. Our e-commerce program has more non-intactivists using it than actual intactivists. Want to know what works well for me is asking regular people, hey, can you do this? It would really help me out. They typically say okay. Obviously, I'm not saying all intactivists don't care. We do have awesome supporters of POTS that have helped tremendously. However, out of the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of intactivists out there, there are only 12 people who partook in the POTS e-commerce program that identify as intactivists. CareBuzz was launched March 14th, 2024. It finally started being picked up about 2 months ago. And now, like I said, we make about $20 a month from it. And honestly, looking at it, there's 28 contributors. That's just devices. So honestly, we might just have like 14 people doing this, and they're just using their phone or laptop or whatever to go ahead and keep helping POTS, which is great. But if you used a laptop, it counts as a contributor. And we don't even know if these contributors are intactivists or not. I'm assuming maybe they're just people who've been doing CareBuzz and they helped somebody out and they're like, oh, I'll go ahead and help this guy out, I guess. Who cares? And we might have a few strays just helping us out. But anyways, it's really not a lot of support. And honestly, it did take a lot of time and money to get this into people's heads to do it. And we even paid Intact Nigeria to promote it. Actually, we paid 5 different intactivist groups to promote POTS. And we're talking these were small groups. Many groups won't want to promote you if you ask. They just won't. Ron Lau from TLC Tugger, one of the very few that will promote you for free. And also Brendan Murata will also promote you for free as well, at least in my experience. And that's why they are some of the best intactivists we have, because they actually care about you and you being able to grow. So those two are definitely MVPs in my mind. So if you're still wanting to start a group, here's what you need to know. 1, you're going to need tens of thousands of hours of just getting skilled and trained and just getting your content out there so people can see it. Then you need tens of thousands of dollars to promote it, to go ahead and take your time and hard work and magnify it, and also have a good network. But just keep in mind that the mainstream intactivists and others most likely won't support you, and you're going to have to be a door knocker, and you're going to have to like knock until your knuckles bleed before you start getting help. POTS is trying to change this. We're not going to let this toxic gatekeeping define the future of this intactivist movement. If you're serious about making a difference, consider getting involved with POTS instead of starting your own group. Chances are your motivation will only last 3 to 6 months at a time anyways, and you could actually accomplish something meaningful during that time working with us. Some examples of people who have helped us was we had one volunteer design our logo, Discord emotes, and banner, saving us about $1,000 and making POTS look quite professional. We also had a TikTok manager post for about 3 months. She left, but it definitely helped us. Hoodie by Nature created our theme song and awesome AI graphics for the cyber protest. Who knows how long he will stay, but he's already made quite a big difference, even if he chooses not to continue on doing his own branding. So guys, don't waste your time, money, and sanity doing this alone. This topic is already dark enough. You don't want to go ahead and try and save children just to end up being ignored, broke, and burnt out, preventing approximately 0 circumcisions. POTS already went through those stages for you. Join POTS, learn how this movement actually works before, then decide if you want to lead. If you help POTS, we will give you publicity, I promise, if you want it. If you don't want it, it's a-okay. We have plenty of jobs to give you. We have social media defenders, networking for POTS, interviewing, editing, and so much more. We're building something that's massively going to reduce gatekeeping, that will support new voices, that's improved and not afraid to challenge the status quo. Let's change this movement so we put preventing non-consenting male circumcision first versus the wallets of others. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button on the way out if you found this helpful, or leave a comment if you disagree with me, or if you agree with me, that would be nice as well. Alright guys, have a great one. Bye.
Prevail over the system. We rise through precision. Uplift transition.